In the Bronx, life is death, unlike that box office return.
In the days of darkness, when there is no hope for light, the only thing you can do is try and survive.
(1990) The Bronx Warriors. This is the 1982 Enzo G. Castellari-directed hodgepodge film that takes ideas from the Warriors and Escape from New York. The plot. In the near post-apocalyptic year of 1990, the Bronx is basically an isolated location. Several gangs are thriving in certain areas of the Bronx. However, one of the gangs, the Riders, has acquired a new member, and played by Stefania Girolami Goodwin, who is a 17-year-old heiress. She is to be head of the Manhattan Corporation. At least she was until she ran away from home. Now Trash, played by Mark Gregory, will fight for her and the Bronx, along with the Ogre, played by Fred Williamson, and Witch, played by Betty Desi, while the rest of each other's gangs kind of just are in the background. This is one badass film. Enzo G. Castellari is a superb director of cheesy action. This film delivers in that department, but in a kick-ass way. From the long stares between the characters to the violent action sequences, this movie rocks. It's pure Italian cheese, and that is why it is so scrumptious. Not only does this film star Mark Gregory, who disappeared after 1989, no one knows really where he is, and Fred Williamson, who is badass, as always. We also have George Eastman up in this motherfucker. Sure, his role is smaller than the others, but that doesn't mean he can't be intimidating as well as equally charismatic. Vic Morrow, rest in peace, is also in this film. He starred in The Last Shark, which you'll hear that name come up a couple other times in this review. He's dubbed over, but he is batshit insane, especially in this film's climax. I loved his performance, and despite his dubbing, I can tell he was having a blast. The individual games were interesting. There's one that I forgot the name of, but they're like mimes that can also fight. And then there's the Scavengers, who get way more screen time than the previous gang mentioned. You get to see more of the Riders gang than the others. And in that, we get to know about 5 or 6 of the main members. Trash is obviously the leader. We also get Joshua Sinclair, who plays the Ice character. He's got a dark and manipulative side to him. Sinclair also played the mayor in The Last Shark. Stefania Girolami Goodwin, who again played Anne in this movie, was also in The Last Shark as Peter Benton's daughter. I can't really see it. She doesn't look like she could have changed her appearance that much over the course of a year or so. I don't know. The location is definitely something in this movie. The dilapidated and destroyed buildings of Brooklyn and the Bronx, because some of the scenes were filmed in Brooklyn, are ominous and dirty. It gives off an evil beauty to it. Speaking of evil beauty, this film's action sequences are a sight to behold. The gore, the effects, we get bloody impalements, a face slashed, gory bullet hits, and some more. The effects are practical and awesome. The action, for the most part, is well choreographed, although the fight between Ice and Trash is less than stellar. The motion picture soundtrack, Walter Rizzati, does make very catchy music for this movie, some of which can be heard a bit in The Warriors of the Wasteland, aka the New Barbarians movie. It's got a groovy nature to it, and definitely makes itself heard. Unless there's a fight scene with no music, which makes it kind of underwhelming. If you loved The Warriors and Escape from New York, then you'll love this movie. It's got action, fun characters, a cool wardrobe, bloody battles, and funky music. Overall, I give 1990 The Bronx Warriors a 3.5 out of 5. Lion Brian Gatto, host of Horror Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below, leave comments, and subscribe.